Welcome to this week's midweek warm-up. Kind of this month's. Sorry, we've been kind of behind.
Or not.
I'm sorry that we've been behind. I didn't
say we're not sorry. I said we're not behind.
We're
right where we should be.
Okay, well, it's nothing that God didn't know was going to happen, but it wasn't to our plan. So
okay, the question is, what color is her shirt versus mine?
Yeah.
Because on the camera,
the camera is deceptive. They are not the same color.
It's not pink.
Sorry, Joanna. Anyway, so we are in Job chapter 14.
Actually, we're in the outdoorsman.
Yes. Did you want to?
Now it's the indoorsman.
Okay.
What?
No, it's still the outdoorsman, dork. Oh my goodness.
Actually, Peter said we can change our name to the way inside. I don't think so.
That's funny. No, I think we're good. That would just be a little too playing off of other people, I think.
Maybe a little bit.
There's another ministry kind of out of this church called The Way Outside, which is fantastic. Firewood ministry, and they also deliver food and different things.
I'll eat the food. I don't want to do firewood.
They're pretty awesome people too. So.
But they're doing firewood. No.
Okay.
I don't do that.
Take it away.
I'm not Ernie.
I didn't say it.
She did. And she's staring at my hair.
I was looking at his hair.
It's her fault. Okay, Job chapter 14. Now the woman is done. Reads, man who is born of woman is a few days and full of trouble. He comes forth like a flower and fades away. He flees like a shadow and does not continue. And do you open your eyes on such a one and bring me to judgment with yourself? Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? No one. Since his days are determined, the number of his months is with you. You have appointed his limits so that he cannot pass. Look away from him that he may rest, till like a hired man he finishes his day. For there is hope for a tree, if it is cut down, that it will sprout again, and that its tender shoots will not cease. Though its roots may grow old in the earth, and its stump may die in the ground, yet at the scent of water it will bud, and bring forth branches like a plant. But man dies and is laid away. Indeed, he breathes his last, and where is he? As water disappears from the sea, and a river becomes parched and dries up, so man lies down and does not rise. Till the heavens are no more, they will not awake, nor be roused from their sleep. Oh, that you should hide me in the grave, that you would conceal me until your wrath is past, that you would appoint me a set time and remember me. If a man dies, shall he live again? All the days of my hard service I will wait till my change comes. You shall call, and I will answer you. You shall desire the work of your hands. For now you number my steps, but do not watch over my sin. My transgression is sealed up in a bag, and you cover my iniquity. But as a mountain falls and crumbles away, and as a rock is moved from its place, as water wears away stones, and as torrents wash away the soil of the earth, so you destroy the hope of man. You prevail forever against him, and he passes on. You change his countenance and send him away. His sons come to honor, and he does not know it. They are brought low, and he does not perceive it. But his flesh will be in pain over it, and his soul will mourn over it. It's a very happy note to end on.
I don't know. This whole chapter seems kind of sad to me, as with most of the book of Job. But, Job. Anyway, so I thought part of what he was discussing about how he was talking about a tree having seed and sprouting again and things like that, he was kind of inferring his children, sort of. And he kind of gets to that later in the chapter. Is that not?
No kids, they're dead.
Okay. Stop. Oh my goodness, he's awful.
Actually, it's more like...
Stop. That's gross.
It's supposed to be. They got squashed.
Can I edit that out?
Nope. It's going to stay in there.
Okay, moving on.
Yes, his kids are mentioned, as we discussed beforehand. But in verse 21, it vaguely mentions kids, but it's not really talking about his kids because they're dead. And there's really nothing in here talking about his kids being cut off. So that's not really something that can be fairly brought into this passage. And I'm getting over a cold, so I might sound funny. Or I sound better. It's hard to tell. We'll start here in verse 1 because that's where you logically start at. And so I like to say that it says man who was born of woman, not of man.
Yes.
We're not biologists, but we know how that one works.
Sorry, that might be a little testy. Anyway.
Yeah. So man who was born of woman is a few days and full of trouble. So he's basically once again acknowledging that man's life is short, and don't get him here any other way else than by woman. That's the reality. They didn't have test tubes at that point, and there weren't storks delivering babies.
That's what I was going to say. There weren't storks, apparently.
The storks didn't come around till like 1700s.
Or Cabbage Patches. So, random question.
Yes.
Where did cabbage originate?
For that or the plant?
The plant.
Cabbage is native to Europe.
Like mainland Europe?
I was going to say not Maine, no. Yes, Germany. That's why they have sauerkraut.
Knowledge.
Yes, native to there. And then it is bred out from bok choy.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So they wouldn't have had Cabbage Patches either.
They had cabbage patches in the Middle Ages, which is where the story came from, about 800.
That's funny. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
It's weird.
Continue.
Okay, so man's life short. Problem solved.
Mm-hmm.
Man has trouble. Also obvious. And then once again, he comes forth like a flower and fades away. So short life. Yep. Very exciting there. And then he says, and do you open your eyes on such a one, bring me to judgment with yourself. So he's basically saying, yep, life is short, but are you going to go to the effort of looking at me specifically?
Okay.
What do you think? Does he? Does he not?
I think just the idea to Job that God is going to specifically narrow his focus on him. I don't know. I mean, they were very close to the flood, so they knew that Noah had spoken with God, and his sons had all, been saved by God directly through the flood and all the things thereafter. But I guess, do you think he would have struggled with the concept of that personal relationship with God?
I'm guessing that throughout time, pretty much everyone struggled with the concept that God will directly deal with you about something.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of people. There'll be more people. It's
Well,
part of that verse 1 thing.
Anyway, so there was a question posed in a Bible study I was in a little while back. Just somebody discussing, we were talking about prayer, and it's kind of the same concept. Some people, sometimes we feel like, oh, well, this is bothering me, or this is, I lost my keys and I can't find them. It seems silly to pray about it because God's got bigger things to take care of, which, yeah, he does. But that doesn't mean he doesn't care. It doesn't mean that he doesn't want you to interact with him, because we kind of limit God to what we're capable of. And we can't be like there in a full, like you have my full attention with every single person that we meet. But God can. And
Well, since God can do literally everything simultaneously throughout time,
yes.
I don't think God will have any difficulty telling them where their keys are at or helping them find them.
Yeah.
And he knows exactly where they're at also.
And he wants that relationship. That's part of what I think.
He also knew where the keys were before they lost them.
Before they were born.
And where the keys
were
will always
made.
be.
Yeah. I don't know that he's like mindful of, oh, there's keys sitting over there somewhere.
I'm pretty sure he is. Like he knows how many views we're going to get on this one.
Anyway, we'll see. Anyway, so continue. I'm sorry. I'm very tired.
She made me drive a long ways today. And I wasn't even working. Okay, so we have been talking about that. And then verse 4, it says, who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? So the clean thing here is babies. Are babies clean? Are babies born clean?
They're not born clean.
Babies are born nasty.
News alert.
They're
Yeah.
slimy and gross.
Sorry.
They're not cute like they're on TV. But
They are too.
they're not cute on
once
TV.
they're clean.
They just think they are. And so his response there is no one. No human being can make something clean. We don't have the capacity to.
Yeah.
Obviously, clean to us is a different matter than what he's talking about. He's not talking about a lack of soot upon it or a lack of germs. He's talking about morally and spiritually clean.
Yeah, he's talking about sin.
Yes.
It's and that's what he's alluding to is like I'm sinful. Man is sinful. Who can make us clean? Who can change that? So is that the change he's referring to later in verse 14?
Yes.
Okay.
But we're getting there.
Connection.
And he doesn't yet have the song of nothing but blood. So
You know.
he didn't have the answer. And so he goes there from there into verse 5, and it says, since his days are determined, the number of his months is with you. And he's basically spending the rest of the time here for the next few verses saying, the length of time we're going to be alive is already set. God knows. We cannot possibly make it longer no matter what we do. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to try, you're still going to die, we're going to die.
Yeah.
And you're not going to die before then. You're going to die exactly when you're supposed to die.
And that doesn't mean that you have no choice in what you do, or it's not some creepy thing like a horror film that I'm sure anyone our age is thinking about right now. It's not like
your destiny or your fate. It's just God knows what's going to happen.
God just knows. It's not like he's, I don't know. There's lots of mythology around how long we live and how we die and
the intricacies of
fate and all of that. So this is not a matter of fate per se. This is God just knows, because he knows where your keys are. He knows where that $5 bill is that you lost. You know, he's
20.
he knows where
Your marriage license is that.
I lost her marriage license for a while.
3 years.
Long story. But I didn't lose it. I misplaced it because we found it again, and it was in the house.
Oh, I found it.
We found it.
I found it.
Okay, anyway.
Because she lost it.
Yep.
Anyway, that'd be a really long video if we tried to explain that one right now anyway. And let's just go with the Jesus, God knows life. There we go. Time
Who
lapse.
knows?
And we're going to move on from that. So in verse 7, after they died, so then we get into the tree part. And so he goes, if there is hope for a tree, if it is cut down, that'll sprout again. And its tender shoots will not cease. So I'm sure everyone's seen a tree where it's been cut down. And you have this massive stump, and there's a little dinky tree growing out of the center of it. And
I always think it's cool.
it's really stupid because you wanted it dead for a reason. And it's just growing again. Happens all the time
Then
in
you should
Oregon.
have taken the stump out.
Well, that's what it's talking about here. And it says, though its root may grow old in the earth and its stump may die in the ground, yet at the scent of water it will bud and bring forth branches like a plant. And you can do that. You can pull stumps up. We had a stump pull up in the backyard for 9 months, and it started growing again while sitting on top of the ground.
It was still
Stupid
covered in a lot
stump.
of dirt, and mud, like clay. But
Stupid trees. It just wouldn't die. It wouldn't come out of the ground either. But that's what he's talking about, is that plants are made to grow. Plants are made to live. Even if we try and kill them, they'll grow again. If you ever tried to kill grass in a rock bed, you know how that works. It does not want to go away.
and yet, the flip side of that, when you try and grow grass in your yard,
You can't get it to grow.
it doesn't want to grow.
Or an amphitheater.
Yeah.
And so he's talking about that man is not like that. Man does not have the capacity to just spring back from anything. Mm-hmm. In verse 10, it says, a man dies and is laid away. Indeed, he breathes his last, and where is he? So his question there is, what happens to man when he dies? Obviously, he knows his body's stuck in the ground, right?
Yeah.
And so in verse 11, it says, the water disappears from the sea, and a river becomes parched and dries up, so man lies down and does not rise. Until the heavens are no more, they will not awake nor be roused from their sleep. So he's saying, yep, you die and your body stays in the ground. And that's where his kids are at. They're dead. At this point, they're very dead because it's been 4,000 years.
Yes.
But for him, they were dead.
They were gone.
Not coming back.
Yeah.
And so his question then is, what happens afterwards? And so Emily pointed out earlier that there's not much talk in the Old Testament about resurrection. Obviously, you have Elisha bring back the kid that died for the widow. Mm-hmm. And that's mostly what it is. Mm-hmm. Not much else in that in the Old Testament. But there's allusions throughout it going to what Jesus was going to do. And I'm not thinking straight because my head feels like it's full of cock still. And I'm not Hebrew either, but there isn't much going on in the Bible, but there's lots of talk around the Bible about resurrection. And so Emily mentioned Sadducees earlier when we were discussing it. And the Sadducees are a result of the exile into Babylon. And so they have lots of stupid ideas like avoiding everything supernatural, basically.
Yeah, if it's not material, physical, they can't see it or touch it, it must not be real. Yet, somehow, they were still
spiritual leaders of the Hebrew people.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's kind of an oxymoron.
It sounds like politics.
Right? Yeah.
I think you can leave out the oxy and just go with the moron. But
that's
the way it goes.
Anyway.
And so you have that issue coming up. And so here we have him saying, is there resurrection? And he's going to actually ask that question in a moment. So in verse 13, it says, oh, that you would hide me in the grave, that you conceal me until your wrath is past. So he's basically saying, please kill me and let me be dead until you're not angry with me anymore. And then verse 14, after he says that you would appoint me a set time and remember me, which is, he's alluding to what he's going to say in 14, which is, if a man dies, shall he live again? All the days of my hard service I will wait till my change comes. He is saying that I know that there's going to be a time where I'm going to be free from sin. I'll be resurrected. Will you please just kill me now so I can get there?
Yeah.
So I don't have to put up with this anymore. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily the best answer. Say, I'm sick and tired of life now. Can I just die and come back in heaven?
Well, like we've talked lots of times that there was a thing that we heard a lot when we were... I haven't heard a lot that much anymore, but...
That's because all the old Southern Baptists died.
Heard a lot growing up, especially when we were in junior high school. People saying, I'm so heavenly minded, I'm of no earthly good. Or people who are... And I understand that there's an element of, especially later in life, when your health is failing and things like that, that you just might be ready. And that's one thing. But when you're like 35 and you're like, oh, I just can't wait till I get to heaven, which I can't wait. It's going to be cool. But I know God has something for me to do now and here. And I'm not going to like rush through what he has for me to get to that.
Or drive your car like you're intending to get there.
Yeah. I'm not going to try and find my way there. God's already got it covered.
They're lost souls. They can't find the way driving.
Anyway.
They'll get to somewhere else though.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, I don't know where we're
at. Just the concept that we can be so focused on the life to come that we miss out on what God has for us to do here. That is a part of the promise, that resurrection, and it's amazing and glorious and, beyond comprehension. But that doesn't mean that what we have to go through here, even the trials like Job is facing, which he doesn't realize at this point, obviously, but we know that after this point, he's going to be restored health-wise. He's going to have more children, and God blesses him abundantly. But he didn't have any way of knowing that here. So when we're in those sorrowful times and we're having terrible struggles,
or cold,
it can feel like, what's the point? Like, why would I keep doing this miserableness when I could just ask God to take me to, the other side and just resurrect me.
It's like going through puberty again.
He's so sick. He's on meds. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they wore off by now.
Anyway.
Yeah, so in verse 15 it says, "You shall call, and I will answer you. You shall desire the work of your hands. For now you number my steps, but do not watch over my sin. My transgression is sealed up in a bag, and you cover my iniquity." He's saying, I know that there's going to be a time where you're going to call us back. Mm-hmm. And you will take care of all of our sin at that point. And we will not be held accountable for it because of our trust in you. He's basically saying here, I know the Messiah is coming, and the Messiah is going to take care and fix it for us. Mm-hmm. And Jesus came, Jesus died, Jesus was resurrected again, and did all those things for us because we couldn't do it ourselves.
Yeah. We read his study Bible has a little note talking about it, just kind of pointing out that the book of Job brings up 3 important questions that are all pointing to Jesus. One is the problem of the invisible God. Oh, that I knew where I might find him, is what Job says, which is answered by the incarnation of Jesus. The second question is the question or the problem of human sin. And he says, how can a man be righteous before God? Obviously, we can't be. Again, answered by the death of Jesus, because like he's alluding to here, Jesus' blood has covered our iniquity. He's covered our sin and cleansed us so that it's no longer there. It's no longer visible. I lost the word. There's a word. It's no longer, I don't know. It might come back to me. Anyway.
One of those things.
The third question or problem that Job brings up is the question of death and immortality. And these are kind of existential questions that every human being eventually gets to the point of asking, like, who am I? Why am I here? What's the purpose of life? What happens after I die? Like,
unless you're sore and cursed guard, in which case that's your entire life. It's asking that question to everybody.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know who that is.
The most famous existentialist in existence.
But did he have the answers?
Yeah, he was a Christian.
Okay. Cool. That's fair.
Just, universities don't tell you he's a Christian. They just say, people ask these questions as humans. Yes, we do as humans because we know God's out there.
Yeah, because we were talking about this earlier, because creation itself testifies that there is a God. And
that's admissible in a court of law.
We know.
Does not perjure.
Okay, anyway, the death and immortality problem
Body wash.
Is answered by, he says, if a man dies, shall he live again, in verse 14 there, which is answered by the resurrection of Christ. So, as Nathan so eloquently said it earlier when we were talking about it, the book of Job is all about Jesus. It's doesn't say his name. It's about showing such a vibrant picture of why we need Jesus, who he is, how he can fully cover and take the place of that mediator that Job is begging for, and the one to draw us close and to renew us and complete and fulfill this change that he's talking about from sinful man to a unclean thing to a clean thing. We are a new creation, and in that just I don't know, ties it all in. And it's exciting. So Job's a little less depressing for me with that perspective, just that, again, like every other part of the Bible, it's about Jesus. So I'll stop yakking now.
It's even less depressing if you have a Chick-fil-A sandwich in one hand and Chick-fil-A sauce in the other hand.
Yeah. Okay. I
7
do.
times today. Except they closed early.
So yeah, I will.
Hence the long drive today.
I will talk more about that later, I guess. Go ahead.
You don't have much longer.
So you finish up what it's more important for you to talk about this.
As a mountain falls and crumbles away, and as a rock is moved from its place, his water wears away stones, and his torrents wash away the soul of the earth, so to destroy the hope of man. Good happy things there, which, yeah, it's true. He is ascribing all the forces of nature to God, which God controls them. It's his right to do.
So
it's basically saying time destroys things.
Oh.
I think we know that.
I thought maybe verse 19 there was kind of alluding to you destroy the hope of man because man can't meet your criteria. Man can't be righteous on their own.
No, it does.
His own. Okay.
But he's still saying nature falls apart. Nature does not get better.
It's part of the...
Thermodynamics do exist, contrary to evolution saying they don't.
Okay.
Everything will get worse. There we go. And so it says, you prevail forever against him, and he passes on. You change his countenance and send him away. His sons come to honor, he does not know it. They are brought low, and he does not perceive it. But his flesh will be in pain over it, and his soul will mourn over it. So it's saying, yep, he's going to die. He's going to be dead. He's going to croak. And then his sons are going to get stuff. Yay, they're happy, and then they die. That's being brought low. And they croak. But he doesn't know because he's dead, so who cares? And his flesh is dead. But he doesn't care. But his soul's going to mourn because it's sad.
It's so depressing.
Get you right here. It's like heartburn. Yeah. Life's sad while you're alive. Doesn't matter what you did, though.
You're so awful.
That's what he's saying.
Yes.
That is Job's thought process here.
Okay.
Say, so please let me die so you can bring him back to life later on and be happy again.
Yeah. I guess so. But I guess with that, do you have any questions, any thoughts, any input on this chapter? Let us know what you think.
Do you want to know why we drove for 5 hours today?
Yeah, that was an interesting thing. I was just going to say that I am working at Chick-fil-A again.
That's why we haven't been on.
That's why we haven't been on.
It's our fault.
I've been working. This is my work shirt. I took off the name tag because I don't think you'll need to see that. But yeah, it's busy.
She makes me sandwiches.
Yeah, he got a sandwich today. He was very happy.
For free. I guess I drove 5 hours for it. So.
It's a long story, but maybe we'll come on and do another little blurb.
That'll be our Saturday video.
Saturday.
Why we drove to Kalispell.
Maybe. I didn't take any footage.
To get 100 pounds of Chick-fil-A ingredients.
Okay, so anyhow.
I'm more than that, actually.
It was more than 100. Anyhow, I guess happy Thanksgiving, and we will hopefully talk to you, see you, hear from you soon. Oh, I was going to say we should let you all know about the giveaway.
We had a prayer meeting on Monday. That's exciting too.
So if you think of it, be praying for us. Unless you're in the area, and you're more than welcome to join us Monday.
Just let us know so we have food.
Yeah, let us know so we have food. Monday at noon here at the Outdoorsman, we're hosting a prayer meeting for rural Montana ministry.
That's the 29th.
It's the 28th. The 29th is Tuesday.
I don't know. That day. Make sure you come on that day, because don't come the week afterwards. We won't be here.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's coming up. And then December 4th, we're going to do a live stream. And we're very excited about it. I'm excited about it. He doesn't, I don't know. I'm excited about it anyway. Bella's going to do some baking, I think. And what we would like to do is we would like to hear from you guys what God has been doing in your life, and if you could share some stories of maybe people who have blessed you or God has used to help you understand something or teach you something, or I don't know, some way that people have been
or some fudge. I like fudge.
I guess people that God brings to mind. We want to just use this live stream, not with fudge. I don't know what you said except fudge.
I wasn't fudge.
Trying to focus.
Cheesecake? Pumpkin pie?
He's not helping.
So hungry.
I'm not even hungry. You're just distracting. Okay, so on our live stream, what we want to do is just praise God for everything He's done for At Heart Ministries this year, for our family this year, for you, and everything that He's done in your lives. And so if you have a story or someone that you would like to say thank you to, send those stories and notes into us. You can email us at atheartministries@gmail.com, or you can also send a message through our website, which is www.atheartministries.org.
Or you can call Emily because you'll
Or
know her
you can
number.
call me because you probably all already have my phone number. But there's a phone number on the website as well. So anyhow,
It's not mine. I think.
anyhow, we will hopefully see you all, talk to you all soon. We look forward to that December 4th live stream. We are going to be sending some gifts to anyone who sends in a story. Say, I sent in a story saying my husband has been doing going above and beyond, working, taking care of our family, providing for us, and I'm just so thankful for him. He's such a blessing. We're going to send a gift
Why, thank you.
to, the idea is probably not, yes, be thankful for your spouse, but my thought is more like pastors or teachers or, people who, I don't know, people who have influenced you. It can totally be a spouse. It can be a friend. It can be a family member. It could be your own children.
Unless you're not married, they can't be a spouse.
Anyhow, we want to send a little gift
Could be someone
from
else's spouse.
us on your behalf to those people, just as a thank you, and maybe share those stories on that live stream so we can all praise God together for what He's been doing. So
And so have something to talk about.
otherwise, we're just going to visit and probably have a little devotional and bake some cookies and just talk about the
cookies.
fun things that He's going to eat the cookies. We're going to talk about the things that God has been doing for At Heart Ministries. So thank you so much for sticking with us through this whole video, and we look forward to talking with you guys soon. Okay, bye.
Actually, now it's time to pray.
Oh, geez.
Oh my goodness, it's time to pray. Dear Lord in heaven, thank you for today. Thank you for letting us be here safely. Thank you for Emily's amazing, wonderful, gorgeous, and it's my amazing wife. Thank you for everyone who's watching, and just be with them and give them all wisdom, guidance as we go forward through this day. In your wonderful name I pray. Amen.
Okay, bye.